In this episode, we're taking a look at changing tubes in my Blues Junior and just some talk about tube amps in general. Hello and welcome to Tuts, the show where we explore guitar playing, music theory and gear to take our playing to the next level. I'm your host, Ray George. If you've watched previous videos on my channel, you'll probably know that I got myself a Blues Junior about 6 or 7 months ago. If you're interested in why I chose it, you can check out the video I put up on that, which is season 1, episode 26. The reason for this video is just the other day I was playing and the volume started kind of fluctuating, and then this happened. Clearly, one of the power amp tubes had blown. I thought it seemed kind of early for it to go, having not had the amp for that long, but I read somewhere that EL84s, which is what is in this amp, has a lifespan of about 500 hours, at least when it's in this amp. And if you do the maths, 6 months is roughly 170 days or thereabouts, and 500 hours divided by 170 comes to 3 hours per day, which is probably less than I play, so it kind of works out. Thankfully, I managed to find a retailer relatively close by that had these JJ Electronics EL84s in stock, and I guess they were matched by the guys at the Tube Amp Doctor in Germany, since they had their label on it too. You should always make sure to buy matched tubes when replacing tubes in the power amp section. So as far as I understand, this is because in the power section, the tubes are working together, unlike the preamp section in which each tube is acting as an isolated gain stage. So the tubes in the power section need to have matching cathode current, which may not be the case even if two tubes are the same type and make, and even made at the same time, they can have variation in the cathode current. So that's where companies like the Tube Amp Doctor come in and test the tubes to create matching pairs or quads if needed for more powerful amps. As well as this, another thing you usually have to consider when changing tubes is the bias of the amplifier. This is similar to adjusting the idle of a car when a major change is made to the engine, and for amplifiers it makes sure that the amp sounds its best. Unfortunately, I discovered that the Blues Junior is actually a non-adjustable bias amp. This means there's no bias pot on the circuit. Further to this, the factory bias, as with other manufacturers, is set pretty high, which means the tubes run hot, quite literally, which has the effect of less headroom, meaning it will distort earlier as you turn the volume up, and will most likely burn out the tubes faster. These are things you should definitely bear in mind when buying a tube amp. I'm not too bothered by it, since I imagine Fender tried to fit these into a particular price range, and therefore they have to be some compromises, but it does make me really interested in trying out Bill M's mod kit, which includes upgrades for various components within the circuit, as well as adding a bias control, which would be really cool. If you're interested in more details about that kind of thing, you should definitely check out his site. I'll add a link to it in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. I'm by no means an expert on this kind of thing, but I wanted to share what I found to be useful information. Feel free to post any questions if you have them, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if this is one of the first of my videos that you've watched, welcome to my channel. I try to post videos like these, as well as covers, performances, and lessons every week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date.